sit. Okay, so go ahead, climb on your horse here. So this is my friend Jessica, or Jess. Sorry, usually nicknames for me or something. But anyway, so by either one. Okay. So we're going to learn some of the things that I don't feel conventional trainers teach people. So she's going to be my guinea pig today to show you guys about gathering reins quickly, about shortening reins quickly, about balance point, and about how to be safe enough to get off a horse even if you weren't able to get them to stop, but to give the same comfort as taking your foot off the gas and putting it on the brake. Like, I need my riders to be that confident that they don't have to think about it. So when I do an emergency stop with a horse, a little bit better, I always do it to the left. So it's a lateral flexion, and when I teach it, I teach my horse it means don't move your feet. When I teach it in both directions, yes, but when I teach it as an emergency stop, it's always to the left. Would you guess why? So, since the idea is to turn it into an automatic foot off the brake or off the gas onto the brake. Like, somebody's slamming on the brakes in front of you, you don't want to have to think about it at all. Right? Okay. Well, that's good. That's not where I'm going with it, but that was good. Okay. What side of the horse is the standard side to get on a horse? Is what? Yeah. Okay. So that's also the standard side to get off on a horse. And 90% of people have never gotten on or off the horse from the right. Mostly trainers are the only ones that do. And that's because you have to work both sides of the horse. But most people that just ride don't work both sides of the horse. They just get on. Okay. So that's why my horses all step over from the left to the mountain block. They can over both directions, but for the most part, the mountain block is like if you stand on the left foot, they're going to bring you to the left side. Okay. So, with that said, I don't want to teach my riders to emergency stop to the right, because then they're going to have to make the conscious decision of which side of the horse to jump off of in an emergency. And that's way too much thinking in an emergency. So since it's automatic to get on and off on the left-hand side of the horse, I want you to always do your emergency stop to the left. So that way, you're bending the horse this way, you're bending the horse into the left, which then, once you hit the ground and you have a hold of a tight rein, their ass end swings away from you. If you jump off on the right of the horse doing a left emergency stop, you're swinging the horse right on top of you, right? So I don't want somebody to do an emergency stop to the right and then not think which side of the horse I should be getting off on, jump off on the left, and pull the horse right on top of them. And what will happen often, if you pull the horse right on top of you, because you've kept that right rein real tight, now it's up. Well, if you ever do an emergency stop and you raise the rein up, that's how, if you watch the movies, that's how they make a horse lay down in a fight scene. Is they pull the horse's head up like this and it makes them pull. Okay? So, note to self, you can flip over a horse really easily by flipping his nose up in the air towards your knee. Okay? So it's always save your hiney, it's always bring it around behind you. I used to say save your ass when I started working with kids, so we changed it to save your hiney. So that's, first off, you want to make sure that you always keep your rein down so the nose is brought around to the elbow, not up to the wither or up to your knee. If you jump off, say you've spun them around to the right and you jump off on the left, now as you come off the horse, you're going to be pulling that rein up, you're going to be bringing that horse's nose up, you're going to land that horse right on top of you. And they weigh, on average, 1,000 pounds. That's a few broken bones probably by the time you stand up. Even though you could have hit your feet on the ground and been perfectly safe until you flip the horse on top of you. Okay, so inherent dangers. A lot of people aren't taught all this stuff, which is... Okay, so an emergency stop. What I do, I should go get Rich just so I can show the bend around, but what I do is I teach the horse at a standstill. We can bring him out and we'll show it all that, but I bring the horse around to his elbow, and he's supposed to bring his nose to his elbow and just stand still. And I don't release, I don't give it back to him in any way until his feet are no longer moving. So if that means we're walking around in a tight circle until he figures out, oh, I'm not supposed to move my feet, and that is what brings the release, then we're going to keep working on it until it's automatic for him to stop when he feels the rein around to his elbow. Okay, so now you're riding along. Hold these for me. I just want to demonstrate something real quick. So you're riding along, and now you're saying they call it on the buckle, which these obviously don't have a buckle. But you're riding on the trail, and your reins are just swinging between the horse's nose and your hand, and all of a sudden something happens, and you need to emergency stop. You're going to raise up with your left hand, run your right hand all the way down to the mane. Let go, grab between you and the mount, between this hand and the mount, and you're going to bring the horse's nose around to the elbow until the horse either slows down enough to where you can safely jump off, or till the horse stops, depending on what you feel safest doing. You just kind of usually it's circumstantial. Okay. Now, if I'm riding along and I just want to tighten my reins, and I don't want to, or creep up on me, like some people do, right? So all that is communicating something, right? You feel me doing something to your hands, right here. So instead, I just, right? They didn't move. So if you're holding here, all you do is you reach up and pull the excess piece that's hanging out of your hand through. Okay, so that's how you would shorten your reins. If I ever were to tell you to shorten your reins, I wouldn't want to see you, but that's what you'll see a lot of people do, which communicates so much to the horse. Let's just say you had a beautiful trot and the horse had a nice rhythm, and I said shorten your reins, and you did that, my horse is going to stop, right? Or break down into a walk if he's trotting, whatever. So he's going to downward transition regardless. Not every horse is, because some horses learn to tune out everything, but I want my horses to be so sharp on everything that I tell them that I don't ever have to tell them twice. Okay, so now you're riding along, so you're going to use, and I like to kind of make a habit if I'm going to ride on the buckle and I don't want to hold two hands, I make a conscious decision to, or when you ride with two hands, you can just make a conscious decision to have kind of more of a grip with your left hand. And that's to remind you which hand goes up, which hand grabs, right? So the left hand goes up, the right hand grabs, then you let go of the left hand, and then you come around and bring the horse around. So, I'm going to do it in slow motion without me saying emergency stop, and then we're going to do it with emergency stop. Okay, so the horse is just walking along. Okay, now go ahead and do an emergency stop. Right, but now, so see how you have here? I want you to think save my butt, right? So I want you to think, bring it out and around you. You don't have to watch it, because obviously the point of focus with your head is where you're going. So if you're looking down, the horse is in high speed, you don't want that to be a habit. So you want to make sure that you bring it around behind you. So, ready? Okay, go ahead and emergency stop your horse. Yes, good. And that will bring the horse around to his elbow. Let's imagine that's his elbow. So now, you want to be able to do it quickly. So, emergency stop. Yes, good. Okay. Now, so you're trotting along, and you realize that you're coming to a hill, and the horse is coming along, and you can't come to the hill, and you're like, I'd rather than stay trotting, go ahead and shorten your reins, just let me know. Yes, so now I didn't feel anything, right? And you can do that also quickly, but that was nice and subtle. Because also, I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but your horse anticipates you're going to change gaits when you shorten your reins, right? I've had many horses pick up a canter on me when I wasn't expecting them to pick a canter up on me because I shortened my reins. And that was because the horse is like, shorten my reins, means I go. So I want my horses not to make that their cue, because that's what people do. They don't need to. Okay, so emergency stop. Yes. Okay. So do you feel confident in being able to do that if I put you up on a horse? Yes. Okay. I'm going to go get a horse. Okay. So again, so imagine these are your reins. You're going to run your hand down. You're going to bring him around to his elbow. You don't want him to move his feet. See if he gives a little bit more before I release. Over. Okay. Good. Now, how I get on bareback. So if anyone asks me what my discipline is, I say bareback, because that's my preferred way of riding. I start all horses bareback. I don't put a saddle on them until I've used all the baits, consistently. And then because I don't want anybody to learn to ride a horse in a saddle because they learn to ride the saddle, not the horse. So, how I get on, I don't know, like I mentioned this and nobody seems to understand. In gym class, when they teach you like the gymnastics phase of gym class, there's the vaulting horse. It has the two handles, right, and it's this long piece of padding, right, and you imagine vaulting up to get on to swing your leg over. But I'm not going to do swing your leg over. What I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you vault until your belly button is in the center of the spine. So you're going to launch yourself kind of like imagine you're launching, a rocket, I guess, but not straight up. You're going to launch that way with the intention of laying your belly button, at least your belly button, if not high, maybe not lower. Okay, keeping yourself somewhat upright so that you don't fall over the other side. In this case, I don't care if you keep this rein shorter. Always keep your left rein slightly shorter than your right. Why? Right, so if you were in a situation and the horse panicked and you're trying to get on, you can hit the ground and then spin them around and keep his tail away from you. Because if the horse is in a panic situation, often when they panic, it involves, if there's someone in their way, could involve a kick. Right? That's how I got kicked by Faith when we were out in the woods that day, because she was panicking and I was in the way, and she kicked in response to me being an object.
All right, so I just want to lay on my belly on. Yeah.
So, I'm going to have you swing over, but I want you to get used to just throwing yourself over the horse.
Okay.
And then you're going to go from leaning this way to slightly leaning this way, pressing on the front of the horse, and then swinging your legs over.
Okay. All right.
So it's a drop down, launch up. Good. Try again. Yeah. Nope. Oh. I'm going to have you stay there before you swing your leg over. So I want you up.
Way up.
Yep.
Mm.
Good. Okay. Now, go ahead and put the snake through your body kind of thing. Like do the worm.
Like that?
Yeah, you could.
Good.
Now get all the way up. There you go. Right there. Right there. So have yourself slightly on the leather strap there. So a little bit back. A little bit back. There you go. Now, your balance. You ever see one of those weighted bird things where you put the beak on your finger and it doesn't fall off, right? Okay, so that's what we're going to do with your butt. Your butt's going to be the beak. Okay? So, put your hand behind you, and if you can flat-hand it on... Stop. If you can flat-hand it, you're in a good spot. If you can't flat-hand it, then I need you to tuck your butt under you a little bit.
What do you mean by flat? Like,
if you can comfortably just lay your hand back there flat.
yeah.
Okay? So now, if he were to zig, you would zig with him. Instead of if you were back leg on your elbow, you're off balance by your top end being too far back. If you have to touch only with your fingertips, then your front end is too far forward. Okay? And it's all controlled by the angle of the way your butt is on the horse. Okay? So, if he were to walk forward now, you should be able to feel just the movement in his body without being resistant. So don't sit there. Stop. Don't sit there tightly. Go ahead and ask him just imagine your legs are like a wet towel. It's all about your butt. Move every bit of you. You don't have to keep your yourself. It's really important to learn on. You should feel every bit of him moving through you. Okay. So imagine, I'm trying to give you a lot, I know. So here are your reins. You're going to put your reins slightly forward to give him the freedom to go. You're not going to go like this. You're just going to let him know he's been given the freedom to go. You're going to raise yourself up out of that little hole in the ball. So you're going to think forward. If for some reason, so it's not a full launch forward, if for some reason he doesn't walk, and you've definitely given the impression that I'm alive in my body and I would like to go forward, if that doesn't make him go forward, then you're going to grab with your thighs only. If that doesn't work, then you're going to move down with your knees, to your calves, to your heels. If you have to turn, then if, let's say, he really doesn't go, then you're going to take your toes out and you're going to rock your toes off. So go ahead and give him a little sense of like walk up. So see how you're rocking forward and then sitting back down. You're rocking forward and then sitting back down. So as far as he's concerned, you're not hurt you. So once you move forward a little bit, then you're going to give him the impression that he's expecting to go forward. You're going to go ahead and give him some leg. Good. And that's enough. And then release your legs. You don't want your legs ask him to turn. So I'm going to have you go around me this way, but I want you to turn him in front of me. So run your hand down that right rein. Yep. Turn his head. Turn your shoulders. Now imagine your shoulders are like white handlebars. Turn your shoulders where you'd like to go. Point his nose. Ask him to go. Once his nose is pointed where you want, you're going to release that so that he can follow his nose. It's no different than what we do with the line, right? Point his nose. Ask him to go. Okay. Go ahead and ask him to go straight out. So don't start with your legs. You don't want your legs to just hang down on him. So let your legs, yep, good. Go ahead and ask him to go. Don't use your legs. See how you're sitting back down? Yeah. So, there you go, right there, what you just did. And now it's just thought to go. Relax your legs. I don't want to see you gripping your legs. Steer him. Feel like, so here's another rule of thumb. If your reins can be in your lap, when you go to steer, it's going to end up being all the way behind you. You do not want to ever cross your lap with your reins to try to control the force. So if you feel like this is what you're doing, you need to shorten that rein. Okay, go ahead. Look for that balance spot. That balance spot should feel amazing in your back. You should almost even hear your back make little popping noises because you're getting that chiropractic care you're not used to. Go ahead and send it up there. But he's also known to just stop. This is my horse that says, I've heard your resume. Let me see what you don't know. So how would you stop him from doing what he's doing right now? What do you think? This is what we call Kirsten Sour. And what's cool about Kirsten Sour is that once you guys really start doing pretty good together, he won't need to be. That's when you know, that'll be your feedback that you're doing pretty great. But for a while, he'll just be coming in. Okay. Even when you're not on the line. He'll come right off the line. Okay, so if you wanted to push him off of me, imagine that horses yield to pressure or push against pressure. So if he was coming to me, you would press this leg against him, push him back out there. Okay. Right, but you would make sure that you open the door with the other leg, meaning you take all the pressure off that other leg. Don't squeeze that leg too, because then this leg won't be squeezed, you can go forward. Okay, go ahead and try to find exactly where that movement in his body, you're feeling it all the way up past your bra strap. You should feel him moving every bit of your back. Your lower back should be nice and loose so that it allows that vibration to go all the way through your body. Go ahead and ask him to stop. Now, see how your rein is? That would not be what you would want. You would want it to have gone in here and then ask. Okay? And I want you to use the word ho, just so that he knows that he's actually being told to stop and that you're not asking him to flex or something while you're walking. Okay, go ahead and ask him to go back out. Go ahead and stop. Okay, now look at where your hand is. Where did your hand go? It went to your belly button. Which would be what? Right. Which, if you put it to your belly button, you could technically bring the horse's nose up. We don't want that. You want it to come around. Okay. And it was too long. Okay. So I'm going to tell you how you back them up. What do you think I do with my reins to ask my horse to do? Think about what we do on the ground.
They jiggle them.
Yep. So what
You do
so
both
what I
sides
do
or
is
just one?
I go like this.
To both sides? Right. Back.
You're going to sit with your body weight a little bit backward.
Back.
So giving him the feeling that you want to back up. Yep,
Back.
there you go. Good.
Back. Back.
Good.
Back.
step, and then ask him to go out on the rail, on the circle.
Back. Back. Back.
Good. And ask him to go out on the rail. Put life in your body again. Okay, emergency dismount. Yep, once he's stopped, go ahead and put your hands in the mane. Good. Yep. Now take a few steps backward and bring him with you. Nope. Yep. Take a few steps this way.
Oh, this one.
Yep. And bring him with you. There. That guarantees that the horse isn't going to swing around and step on you with his hind leg or knock you down with his foot. Okay. So it's a full launch. Yep. Good. Now the reason I do that, instead of try to swing you see people who try to scissor the horse from the mounting block. You know how stupid that is?
I say if he starts to move, at least if I'm on my belly button, then like
you're just going to go with him.
Yeah.
Right?
Or I'm going to just slide off the side.
Right. What do you think could happen to you if the horse decides to walk or trot off from the mounting block when you have one leg barely hooked over him?
I can get stuck. Or
You'll end up
on my head.
You'll end up under him. You'll end up probably with a broken pelvis.
Yeah.
Like the stupidity, and then probably as he moves away, you're going to swing down and hit your head on the mountain.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing that makes sense about that to me, and why people, even good people, good horsemen, get on that way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm like, you're just lucky nothing's ever happened to you. I ended up underneath of a horse once because I would, if you were to buy a mounting block, this is the mounting block I recommend. The ones that don't have a solid base, that actually have like a big hole right, like you can see the ground right here.
Okay.
Those are the ones that would tip.
Okay.
I had one tip forward when I was getting on, and I ended up under the horse. Thank God I'd already done enough work with him by that time that he didn't kill me. But I ended up underneath one of the horses that I had started, so he was still very green. Stop. Stop. I like my reins. You do not need to from me. Okay. Go ahead and send him out on a circle. I knew I had a minute, so
Okay.
I wasn't worried about you.
This is the part that I'm not sure if I'm doing it right. Like I feel like I'm mixing up.
Project to him, go forward.
Okay.
So if you press down here, you're not projecting going forward. There you go. Project to him that you want to go forward.
And that's all I do for like picking up. And then if he doesn't do that, now I squeeze until he
Well,
goes.
first do a little kiss and then start squeezing. Like I did leave out in the beginning of the lesson. Because the kiss is his go-to. So he knows that he's been asked to go. There you go. Good. Determine that why he needs to be handled, but it is not a bad step. Slight elevation, so it doesn't have to be raised out of the seat. So that way it shouldn't feel awkward. It shouldn't feel like you're doing some major aerobic thing. You know, it should just be a slight elevation out of the seat, like you were thinking about giving up your... Somebody just came on a bus, and you're sitting in a seat, and you're thinking you probably would want to give up your seat to that person. And you're going to just kind of sit a little bit elevated in your seat with the intention of giving in your seat if they look at you. So you're not going to get out of the seat until that opportunity. So it's that kind of elevation out of your seat. I'll find someday the right analogy for that, but there you go. Now he's working for you. He's got a nice gait going, maintaining his, good. When you get by that hole, go ahead and emergency stop, and you jump off. Oh. Good. Now, yes, good. And you did bring it to your belly button, so I know it's more automatic, like I didn't even think about it. I'm just thinking right hand, or left hand up, pull, and grab, and I got it. Good. But I did do it, belly button instead. Yeah, but you know what? You didn't do it to the way, because you had to get out of your own way in that case, too, because if you go around behind you, and I don't actually really want you to go, I just want you to think that, because if you go around behind you, obviously you block yourself from being able to do this, right? Because you want to, once you bring them around, you want to put your hands up on the withers shoulders or in the mane so that you're out of your own way at all. But generally, I do bring them around once I feel like I've got my stop. Then I'll put my hands, So let's go ahead and good. Let him out for that. Good. Go ahead and ask him to go again. Take him out to the rail, out to the circle. So you would shorten that right rein. You wouldn't have to pull it all the way around your body. So imagine that if you have to pull your rein around your body, it's too long. And it's not that hard to shorten them. It's very quick, easy shorten. Go ahead. There you go. Go ahead and ask him to stop on the rail again. I want to see if you can get him to stop and go. So ho. Put his head back. Good. His head straight. Use the right. Don't go over the mane. Use the left. Yep. Just take that right. So instead of trying to manage these long ropes, just think that's more manageable. That's more manageable. But when you're doing all this or this or whatever, now the horse, luckily he's a good horse, but some horses aren't used to all that. So you want to make sure that you're saying, hey, I need to do a little bit more to the right. Shorten that right rein. I need to do a little bit more to the left. Shorten that left rein. Shortening your rein is going to be the key to good communication when you're trying to steer or stop.
I think it's when I'm shortening the left that I lose the right hand side. Because that's every time it was too long was when I stopped it.
I use my forefinger and my thumb.
Okay. That's because that's where I'm letting go of it.
Mm-hmm. You're letting go of it to use it.
Yeah.
Don't.
Okay.
Use your forefinger and your Okay. So I'm going to try to get him to stop straight. So you're going to... this is all like your emergency brake. Okay. So I want you to now be able to stop him straight and not bend him around.
Okay.
Okay, so
it's
not
more.
Emergency brake.
It's
now it's more of
pulling both back.
It's more two hands, but the left lane's rein is the one that's communicating the hoe. Okay. The right rein is maintaining straight. Okay. Oh,
Didn't ask you to go yet.
oh. See how your reins are all gathered up here in your belly button? Would that indicate possibly they're too long? So I want them to where they only come to here. When you communicate ho, I want them to only come to in front of you, not all the way up in your belly button. There you go. Good. So on the bicycle, tell them which way you want them to go. Try to keep your torso straight. Like right now, you have yourself kind of bent into a C. I want you to stay straight in your torso. Don't use your body like you're riding a motorcycle. Use your shoulders like handlebars. Ask him to go. Good. Shorten your reins and ask him to go. Oh. Remember how you said it? Always say it that way. So you just said it different again. Take that and ask him to go. Go. Up. Stop. Perfect. Go. Oh. Oh. Back out. Go. Ask him to ho. Up. Good. Ask him to go. Leaning on your hands. Want your hands to be up and letting him have the freedom to go. If you lean on your hands, chances are he's thinking you're just chilling out. Ask him to ho. Up. Reins are a little bit too long. That's why they came all the way to your belly button. Go ahead and ask him to go again. So I want you to put a little energy in your body and see if you can get a little bit faster walk. He's a Tennessee walker, so he can actually walk 12 miles per hour. So go ahead and put a little energy. Don't care. Put a little energy. I'm just going to give a little energy in your body. If you feel like you're not getting the movement that you're looking for by giving a little life to your body, then you're going to gently apply some pressure with your legs. Don't go crazy. So chances are we'll pick up the top. You just want to